Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss blood supply to the brain. With that, let's get started. The brain receives blood from two main sources. We have two common carotid arteries and two vestibular arteries. Each of these two common carotids bifurcates or splits into two. Each of the two split into an internal carotid and an external carotid. Generally speaking, the internal carotids, there are two of those, send blood to the brain, while the external carotids provide blood for the face and neck. Now, that's a lot of lingo, so let's have a visual. In total, we have our aorta here, which is the main artery that carries blood away from the heart. It has several branches, two of which are the common carotid arteries that then split, leaving us with a total of two internal carotids and two external carotids. For your fun fact, I'll add that the two internal carotids supply 80% of the brain's blood. Simply put, that is a large percentage. So let's zoom in on the internal carotid arteries. Each of these splits to form the anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery. So let's talk about the wording here. Anterior just means it's at the front of the brain, middle, it's in the middle, and posterior means it's at the back of the brain. On the left side of the brain, we've got our anterior, middle, and posterior cerebral arteries. And on the right side, we also have our anterior, middle, and posterior cerebral arteries. In our case, the left internal carotid would form the left anterior and middle cerebral arteries, while the right internal carotid would form the right anterior and middle cerebral arteries. As you see here, they form 80% of the brain's blood. So where does the other 20% come from? Well, that would be from the vestibular arteries. These are unlike the common carotids in that rather than bifurcating, they actually come together. The left vestibular artery and the right vestibular artery join to form a single artery known as the basilar artery. The basilar artery then bifurcates. Remember, B's go together. It splits to form the left posterior cerebral artery and the right posterior cerebral artery. Now, that was a whole lot of terms, so let's review. All of these are true or false. To begin, we have four common carotid arteries. This is false. We only have two. Each of the common carotids bifurcates. This is true. Each bifurcates into the internal and external carotid artery. Next up, the external carotids carry blood to the brain. This is false. The externals carry blood to the face and neck. It's the internals that carry blood to the brain. We have two internal carotid arteries in total. This is true. The internal carotids provide 20% of the brain's blood. This is false. They provide 80%. It's the vestibular arteries that provide the 20. We have two vestibular arteries. This is true. The vestibular arteries form the basilar artery. This is true. The basilar artery bifurcates. This is also true. Remember, the B's go together. Basilar bifurcates. The internal carotids send blood to the back of the brain, or the posterior end. This is false. Remember, each of the internal carotids eventually forms the anterior and middle cerebral arteries. Lastly, we have 5 cerebral arteries in total, or arteries that feed the cerebrum. This is false. we have 6. On the left-hand side, we have an artery in the front, middle, and back. And on the right-hand side, we have arteries in the front, middle, and back. 3 on the left, 3 on the right, that makes 6. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.